What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Hey, guys! What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I'm Anthony.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny. I'm Manny. I am Sir Man of Arena.
And welcome back to a DCTV weekly recap. This is a good day.
Very good day.
This is a very good day. What's up, guys? I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny.
I'm back. It's been a while.
I know.
We did go 2 weeks of hiatus off of DCTV.
For good reason.
Yes, but it killed me.
But would you like to show them the reason why?
Yes, I don't know if you can see it from here.
It's a fucking ring.
Look, there we go. I'm married.
Yeah. We hitched it up. No, I'm sorry. So Anthony married his lovely bride.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, 2 weeks without it, it was irking me. Like, I needed to get back and talk about these shows.
Well, this is definitely the week to
the perfect week to come back.
Jesus
Holy shit!
Christ.
So this week we're gonna do it a little differently. We're not going to separate it by Supergirl, Flash, all that.
There's no point.
This really was just a blend of all 4 episodes. It felt like just a long movie.
Yes.
Which was fantastic.
Yes, everyone bled into everyone else's show, so you honestly don't know which one you're watching, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I want us to actually take the time. I'm sorry, this may be a little bit a longer episode, all right? But it's for good reason.
But there's no ranking this week either because fuck it.
No.
Crisis on Earth X is #1, period.
Yes, let's just for a brief instant really appreciate the time that we are living in, where we have 4 shows that we get to discuss, but not only are they 4 shows existing in a universe, but they all interacted with each other. We're talking about like 5 to 8 characters in each show.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That is a tall order to do.
I mean, I Justice League just came out a couple weeks ago, and we both saw it, and I loved it. I know people have mixed.
There's definitely
views
plot
on
holes,
it.
but
Yeah.
I think DC's getting better. With
But
the
I feel like this was the Justice League we deserved.
Yeah.
Only because they had the opportunity already to lay down all the foundation, the groundwork of these characters and their personalities and everything. And this was like the culmination. And I'm hoping next season it's even bigger than this one. But they had the opportunity now to have that culmination of all these characters you follow for several years now. Take this. Here's a gift. Where Justice League was really just like, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and
that's a whole that's
be
a whole
together.
That's a whole
right. But I'm just saying, like, this was amazing.
Because there's no reason to play catch up. There's nothing catching up. It's all paced out properly.
Yes, and this is their universe.
And in each of these they did a really good job of despite how you may feel about each individual season of what's going on for these DC shows, what they did do was they all did a great character lead up to a lot of things being resolved for Crisis on Earth X. For example, Kara, she has been dealing with the issue of saying, I'm not human, I'm an alien.
Yeah.
All right, but she faced that when she was talking to Overgirl.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about.
But let's start it off. So we are going to take this nice and slow.
Yes.
And we are going to unravel this crossover.
Because there's a lot to talk about.
Really interesting, though, for the crossover with Supergirl's episode, or chapter 1 of the crossover, was that there was only fighting like the last 5 minutes. The whole episode really was just like slice of life, kind of everyone seeing each other and talking and meeting back up.
But great dialogue.
Oh yeah, of course.
And great character moments. So I honestly loved the first episode. Like, even though there wasn't don't get me wrong, that church scene though,
one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in the Arrowverse. I mean, holy shit. That was incredible.
I mean, but it didn't feel like there's no action going on. You know what I mean?
I actually, by the end of the episode, I was like, wow, that went fast.
Yeah.
Because actually, I was just flowing with the characters so much that episode that it just went like that.
Because there's so much going on. So obviously, Kara's not going to bring Mon-El, being that he's married, to this wedding. So what she does do is bring Alex, which I honestly like a lot more. And it worked. I think it worked.
And it worked because we were able to see other Supergirl characters in the crossover this year that we didn't see. Before we even get to Alex and Kara going there, let's start the very beginning of the crossover, where it opens on Earth X.
Yeah. I knew you were going to love that scene.
Yeah.
Because Guardian like a kilt from Scotland.
He gets
like
killed!
Like a skirt.
Oh, we got turned into a shish kebab.
So let's break.
Well, really, his best Captain America impression.
Yeah.
He's all decked out in the American flag with the shield. I'm like, come
and
on.
And he still has the corny line. Like, why does he get the corny line? Like, everyone has like really good phrases or dialogue. Like, he's always stuck saying something where I'm like, what the fuck, Jimmy? Like,
just like last season, what did he say? Like last season.
I don't know.
He says, "I'm sorry." He's like, "So am I."
Yeah. I'm sorry about this. So am I. Oh God.
Like the same corny lines in this, but like when Evil Arrow put him down, and then he had the thing, and he's like, "They were more like me," and he's like, "But you're not gonna be around to see it."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
No. So Earth X is actually the 53rd Earth. There's supposed to only be 52, but it's actually parallel to the timeline of Earth 1. However, it's what would have been the outcome had Hitler won.
Yeah. In that Earth,
that's
the Nazis
intense.
won World War II.
Dude, that's intense. That's some intense shit.
But, wow.
Yeah, man, the place is like a shit show. I mean, everyone, you can't be unique, you can't be diverse. Anything.
It's all like
anything that isn't
Aryan perfection.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and you really get to see how awful it is, and it gives you even just like, obviously it's nothing's ever going to compare to the magnitude of what actually happened, but like just to even see like a little what possibly could have been like a sliver of that, fucking terrifying. Man.
And it's
terrifying.
Just that, obviously the Germans like control the whole world, so everything is the fatherland.
Yeah,
there is no separation.
Yeah.
Everything is the fatherland.
Yeah.
Everything is Nazism.
Yeah.
But you don't find out their real goal until towards the end of part 2. You know, but. So you get that small glimpse of them on Earth X, and then it jumps to like Kara and Alex going to the wedding.
Yeah, because they don't want to brood. They weren't going to go, and then they were like, you know what, we deserve to have some fun. We haven't seen these people in a while. It's a celebration. You know what? Fuck it, let's go. So they go, and what's great is two people that I didn't even realize I wanted to met Alex and Sarah. I mean, I like because there's just so many characters to keep track of. In terms of the whole flyovers, that you don't think about every character interacting.
Right, and it's funny because, like I said, like last year the only person from Supergirl was Supergirl. Like this year, we were able to see Alex, we were able to see James, we were able to see Wynn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And all different respective parts. But
yeah. All right, so to break it down more, so the Alex meets Sarah. Alex obviously still upset and sad about the breakup of Maggie. That was intense. And here comes Sarah, who enjoys some drinks too, so they're knocking them back. And what happens? They get it on.
They end up sleeping together.
Yup. Almost about 3 times, I think, according to Alex.
I think so,
times.
yeah.
Hey, ain't no shame in the game, man.
They had the rehearsal dinner at CC Jitters. This is before Alex and Sarah slept together.
Yep.
But after Joe makes his beautiful speech about how Barry and Iris made him see what love was and how to love again, Oliver seems to really be feeling the mode here.
Yeah, and they spoke about it before when Oliver was talking with Barry when they were doing the tuck fitting and stuff, which was hysterical when Barry turned around and saw him and went, damn.
I love that.
It's delivered so great.
Because it really is this ongoing gag that literally everybody in this universe thinks Oliver is like the hottest person ever.
Yep, exactly.
Even Iris.
Yeah, yep. So like each person talks to their respective friends. So like Felicity spoke with Iris, and Oliver spoke with Barry, and Oliver was like, "I would totally marry the shit out of Felicity again," and Felicity was like,
That was
good right now.
That was rough. Like
that was rough
when she yelled it.
Well, see, like then at the dinner, they were getting into it about a bit because Oliver was actually trying to propose to her right then and there, and she was like, "No," and he's like, "What do you mean? What?" He's like, "No, yes."
Yeah,
like,
I mean, exactly. I mean, he was really just looking for like a closure to the discussion.
Yeah, and instead she was just like, "I don't want to marry you," and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, which is embarrassing as hell.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of different things going on despite not the lack of action. You got, outside of Jitters, you got Alex and Sarah making out. Yeah, they're making out. And then, meanwhile, inside, it's like Felicity just said no to Oliver's proposal, and then like the whole room heard it. And meanwhile, at the same exact time, you have Mick going over to Caitlyn saying, "Didn't I try to kidnap you once?" Like his interactions with everyone were just so great, and he's like, "I never turn down an open bar or free food."
So the next day is the wedding.
Sorry. Also, Cisco and Harry have developed a serum to separate Firestorm officially, because Jax and Stein still have this connection. So obviously, if Stein's going to stop, they can't be needing to have their weekly visits in order to be able to maintain each other's physical states. So this is supposed to actually help sever the connection while basically like tricking it.
Yeah, they were saying they were going to trick their bodies to think they were still connected. Pretty much how they tricked the Speed Force into thinking Barry was still in this trap.
With the skeleton key, yeah.
So same kind of principle here. The chemical would trick their bodies into thinking they were still connected while being separated.
Yes. So now, continue on.
So, actually, the conversation we get at the rehearsal dinner is Stein saying that he got Gideon to create a different kind of serum from Cisco's serum, so that Jax could stay on the Wave Rider and be a legend, and he would get the abilities of a spider, which I thought was a great scene, because it really was. He's like, no, you won't get super strength, and you won't be able to shoot webs out of your wrist. He described every power that Spider-Man has that Jax won't get. He won't get spider sense. What he will get is he could just stick to walls.
Sticky hands. 13-year-olds already have that power. When they discover their hormones.
You could stick to anything. That was the whole power. But for Jax, it wasn't really about the power. We find out later on what his real issue was, and we'll get to that. I want to keep it in order. And then the next day we get to the wedding, where again Mick sat next to Captain Singh in the pew, and he's like, "Don't I know you?
Haven't I arrested you before?" And he's like, "I hate pigs."
And this is like a mind-blowing thing that happened before the fight even happened. And the second I saw it, I thought the same thing, but a lot of people in the community are saying the waitress
was Barry and Iris' daughter.
Daughter, yes. I believe her name is Dawn.
Dawn. If her name is Dawn, then that is Barry's.
No, I'm saying his daughter's name is. I don't know what the waitress's name is.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying I think his daughter.
I believe it. Yeah.
So a lot of people are thinking that it could have been Barry's and Iris' daughter. Now it could have been just to come back to see her parents get married, or is this something more sinister to it? She's trying to make sure something goes right. Yeah. Because
it's just so random.
Very random. She's stressed. Remember to say I do. Which I don't know if he ever actually said. Even at the end. Which does that mean something's going to get messed up because he didn't do what you want him to do. So this seems really interesting, but that is the most popular thing. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of people agree that it's probably their daughter.
Right. Yeah.
So just as they're about to get married,
Mick's asleep.
Mick's asleep
with all your family and loved ones.
Kara is singing as Iris walks down the aisle,
running home to you.
And just as the ceremony is about to begin, the priest begins to speak. And of course, he gives that line that every movie uses as a cliche moment. If anybody believes these two should not be wed, speak now, forever hold your peace. And is immediately vaporized. Gone. Dead. And that's when all the Nazi soldiers come in, and we get one of the best fight scenes we've ever had in the Arrowverse, period. It was so cool. There's just no argument at all. It was
so cool. Sarah and Alex, ripped the leg of their dresses so they have,
more mobility,
At the same exact time, they look at each other and they just start going to fight. And then you have Cisco shooting vibes out.
Let's just run down some of these great moments. We had Cisco creating a breach for Oliver to jump through to reach the top.
To get to the other
To get to the Archer. We had Supergirl and Overgirl battling it out, outside the church, in the sky. Killer Frost making the ice blade.
Yeah, but can we talk about how first it was Caitlyn, and then it's it's time for your friend to come out, and then she turns white, whatever. So Mick turns around and he just goes, like that, and then he goes, and then like he sees her start shooting shit, and like it's like he has like a little crush almost.
Yeah.
He goes, that's what I'm talking about. It's like little things like that, dude. It just puts a smile on.
And I love when Mick gets right in the middle of the action, and he's like, yeah, and then he just takes out the gun and just burning Nazis.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I hate Nazis.
yeah, I mean, fantastic fight scene. In fact, towards the end of the fight scene, all the girls hurt from Supergirl, and then the evil Archer, who at this point we don't know their identities, they escape.
Yeah, they're all wearing masks.
But Alex and Sarah managed to take down the
Prometheus.
Earth X Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So, now we move on to chapter 2. And this pissed me off. Only because it's what I wanted last year.
It's what a lot of people want.
It's what I wanted last year.
A lot of people
So
wanted
they
this
lock
last
up
year.
the Earth X Prometheus in the pipeline. And they're talking to him. And he takes off his mask. And who is the Earth X Prometheus? Tommy frickin' Merlin. Ooh, listen, I loved to see him again.
Yeah.
But
5
really,
years, man. You know,
I mean,
5
like,
years.
you make him the Earth X Prometheus, but you couldn't make him the Earth 1 Prometheus? Seriously? Like, that killed me. Because, I mean, Adrian Chase was a great villain.
Yeah.
Definitely top 2, I'd say, out of all of Arrow.
100%.
But as great as he was, the story would have been exponentially even better had it been Tommy Merlin under the mask. Just because there's so much more history and backstory and connection there,
Of
you know?
course, yeah.
Than just saying, like, you killed my father. But you know, viewers never saw that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was almost like CW, like, acknowledging that.
Yeah,
you know?
oh, definitely.
Like,
Definitely.
look, we know he should have been Prometheus, but he wasn't.
So here
he
gets
is
this little nugget right
you know
here,
what I mean?
and then everyone's just like, "Ooh, nugget." Yes.
I definitely did that,
Yes.
and then I got pissed because I was like, "Oh, nugget!" And I was
No.
like, "No!"
I was happy to see that, honestly, because like I said, I thought that it was like a good way for them to just like at least give the fans what they want in some type of way.
Yeah, a little bit.
If even for a scene, because the man's working full time on Chicago Med, so I mean, I was like, he's not going to be in this long, and then of course he
takes the pill and kills
cyanide
himself.
capsule, bye, dead.
But they had a good scene where like Oliver is describing to Tommy, you know, what his Earth 1 doppelganger did for Oliver and the bond they had. And Tommy, you know, plays with his emotions a little bit and acts like he's you know, a good guy and just being forced to do this stuff. And then of course comes around the complete opposite way.
He's like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah, he's like, you know,
believe that?
And you know what?
Fuck
It's
nut.
funny. He kind of made a good point, though. Believe it or not, and it was kind of lost in his monologue, but I caught it. And it was kind of a good point when, like, Oliver is talking to him and everything, and then Tommy's like, you know, but you don't understand. The Fuhrer will kill my family, kill my friends, and Oliver's like, no, you know, I promise we're not.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
let
they
that
always
happen.
do that. They always make promises. There's no
He's
no
like,
way.
but not only that, he's like, I promise it's not going to happen. Like, we can protect you. Like, you have the option right now. You have the opportunity to make your own choice. You keep saying you have no choice. Now you have your own choice. And Tommy said something. He's like, you know, is everyone on this earth like so easily fooled by these talks? Like, just these little like sentimental conversations, and suddenly everyone's mind is changed, or everyone has a change of heart. Now, that was a good point. Just because there are a lot of those like heart-to-heart conversations that suddenly change someone's perspective, like all the friggin' time. Especially on Flash, where they're, can we have a moment?
Yeah.
Or, you know, someone leaves the room, I got it.
Yeah.
I'll
go talk to him.
And then Tommy, you know, takes the pill and kills himself.
Cisco, from that fight, actually was knocked unconscious because when Supergirl got knocked into the back into the church, like she took some shit with her, and it actually hit Cisco.
And he got a concussion.
So he was concussed, and he didn't come back until the third part.
The third episode. Yeah.
So Cisco's out of commission, and while he's out, geez, I'm trying to remember what happened in each, because like I said, it was like a movie, so you're trying to think of like what happened in what order. But what we do find out, at least from the Overgirl perspective, is that I had an idea. She is dying.
Yeah.
Her heart is not good. And
she was exposed to too much solar radiation from the sun.
So
it pretty much poisoned her.
So
which happened in Superman, in the comic.
Yeah, in the
Superman.
comic. Yeah. Because he did start doing a solar flare. And that took so much out of him. So they wanted to take Kara and actually cut her open, so that they can just take her heart, put it into Overgirl's.
You also find out, because at this point, this is when they had the showdown near the laboratory outside, right? I believe when they first introduce the evil Flash.
Yeah.
Who we find out is actually
Earth One,
the Earth One Eobard Thawne from season 1.
Because
he's like a constant time remnant thing.
Yeah.
Even though the one in Legends was killed.
Yeah.
Like he constantly always exists, but this is officially like the same exact one that we got in the first season, which I thought was really, as confusing as it is to say like how is it still him.
So
it was really cool to see him come back, and now it leaves the door open for later on. But very funny scene just from Oliver himself, because he has that dry sense of humor. And when they go to the laboratory, because the Overgirl and the Fuhrer and Thawne are trying to rob the prism.
Yeah, the prism that would help cut Kara.
Well, because they wanted to turn it into a red sun generator.
Yeah.
So they go in to rob it, and then they spring into action. So Supergirl and Flash get there because they can both get there super fast.
Super speed, yeah.
And then they're literally standing there for like a minute in the parking lot, just like waiting. And then Oliver just comes up on his motorcycle. And this cracked me up more than like half the other things in the episodes, just because of the perfect timing.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, super speed. I don't have it. And that just killed me for it.
Yeah, his delivery
was perfect on
super
that.
Speed. I don't have it.
But then they do have a little fight scene, and then in order for the evil ones to get away,
what do they do?
They collapse the construction site or the scaffolding,
of course,
which was a really, really cool scene for all of them. And just to see Arrow, like we never see Arrow have moves like that.
Oh yeah,
in his respective
he was
show.
swinging like Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah. Like just seeing all those moments, him just drop and shoot, just wrapping
swinging
all the cords around.
Yeah, swinging all over the construction site.
And let's not forget, he was a little Batman-esque in this episode because once they found out that Overgirl was Kara and the Fuhrer was Oliver, Oliver took out one of his arrows to shoot, and Overgirl's like, you know that's not going to do anything to me because it can't even pierce my skin.
Yeah.
And when he shot it, I'm going to say like lead.
Yeah.
It was like a lead covering. Popped off, revealing a kryptonite arrow that pierced her skin and hurt her. To Kara's surprise.
Yeah.
And that was very like Batman-esque. Like he has a contingency plan for everybody, even that he works with.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool because Arrow always seemed like that.
Yeah.
He was the Batman of the CW shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she said to him, Why do you have a kryptonite arrow? And he's like, in case there was ever an evil you.
Yeah. Which is, I was like, yeah, you're so smart.
Yeah. You're so smart. Yeah.
So
while that's going on,
I
mean, don't forget, Star Labs gets taken over.
That happened in chapter.
Dude, honestly, let's just do what it is.
Okay.
Star Labs gets taken over. There's another battle that takes place. And this time it's at it was like a warehouse almost, right? Like where their base of operations was. I mean, they went out there. Mick was left behind because he was trying to get. He was like, "You guys have breaches, but you don't have mustard." And I knew there was a reason why he had to stay there, and it was all due to the fact that Bad Arrow was not
the Fuhrer
was not present for the main fight because he was actually going to take over Star Labs.
Yes.
So as usual, Mick and Caitlin are no match for the Fuhrer because it's Oliver, and just like that, he would have handled them. Yeah, it's believable. So. He takes it over. There's soldiers and everything. Everyone's captured and put into the pipeline except for Felicity and Iris.
Yes.
So it's up to them to hide in the vents, crawl around, and free everybody. And also, they ping the Legends.
But let's not forget, on the other side, the entire team is beaten and kidnapped because of Metallo, which is very different.
Yeah, this is not a human exterior Metallo.
No,
this is the pure robot.
Yeah, the pure robot comic version of Metallo.
Mm-hmm.
and they all get kidnapped, and that is when I believe Kara was taken back to Star Labs, and the rest of the team was taken back to Earth X, where they were put into a concentration camp.
Yeah, that was...
which is where Chapter 3 really opens up, and you get to see all the other prisoners,
Yeah, they each have badges showing what
quote unquote crime they committed.
Yeah,
and that is where we get our first look at the Ray.
This is the first on any screen of the Ray.
Yes, yeah. And they actually are starting. You know how Vixen has her animated series on CWC? Yeah. The Ray is getting his own okay. With him and the Freedom Fighters. Okay. Which I believe because, just to jump ahead for a second, at the end he goes back to Earth X. Yeah. I personally believe that the anime series and the Freedom Fighters with the Ray is going to be him trying to stop the rest of the Nazis on Earth X.
Makes sense.
Which is a perfect story for him because it was already set up here. Yeah. Here's this really shitty place. He's going back there. He's going to fight them, back against them. Yeah. But we meet the Ray, and we meet, I guess, like the second in command after, because there's the Fuhrer. Yeah. Then you have the General, which is Overgirl, and I believe the one right after that would be, who ends up being Quentin Lance.
Lance, man.
Yeah, who ends up being like that right hand to the Fuhrer. And he sees Sarah, of course, and he says, I had a daughter who looked just like you, and she felt the same way that you do because Sarah, does like women.
Yeah, she said, I like men and I like women.
Right, and he said, I had a daughter who looked just like you who had the same kind of, temptation or whatever, and pretty much he said that he killed it.
He said, it didn't stop me from expunging it.
Right, because, she wasn't pure. And he takes the whole group and the Ray out to like the fields to execute all of them. And right before it happens, holy crap, all their guns get frozen and the camera pans.
And who do you see?
You see Snart and his opening line, I hate fire. I was like, yes, because Clance was like, ready, aim, I hate fire. And I was like, yeah, double meaning.
Yes, double entendre.
But in this, he's not, his Earth X counterpart does not go by Leonard, goes by Leo, and he's not really Captain Cold, he's actually Citizen Cold, which is like he's pure good, he's a straight up hero, do-gooder kind of guy.
Yeah, like he believes in due process and justice for all, and he's actually the Ray's boyfriend.
Yes. This is the first iteration of Captain Cold that we've seen that is gay. Mm-hmm. And, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Believe it or not, dude, when he asked Barry if he made the suit himself, I was like, yo, this dude's wild. I was like, I love it. He was like, that's a nice suit.
Did you make it yourself?
Oh, man.
So they end up escaping because Leo takes the shackles off of the Ray and he's able to use his powers again to help him escape because he attacks the rest of the Nazis.
Yeah, and the Ray can manipulate light.
Yes. Into energy beams. He can fly with it. So they end up escaping back to the Resistance or the Rebellion's home base, which ends up being the bunker.
Yeah, which is the equivalent of Arrow.
Arrow bunker, which Oliver even says, I guess this is Earth X's Star City.
Yeah. And who's heading that team up?
Holy shit.
Wynn?
Go ahead. Yeah, Wynn.
Mr. Wynn is shooting his shot. Wow, so yeah, we get to see a much different, more aggressive and anger tone.
Which I like.
Dude, he was
because first of all, he can play it.
Yeah.
You could see from this crossover, he can play more of that serious, stern character.
He was gritty, man. He was gritty.
And I feel like on Supergirl, yes, that is his character on Supergirl, but I feel like he could have a little bit more serious moments. And we did see a glimpse of it in the episode, I don't remember if it was last season or the first season, when you find out about Wynn's father.
Oh, first season.
First season. And that was a more serious episode for him, and he played it great. He was really able to sell that seriousness of his character. So he can do it, and this was just more examples of him being able to do that. Yeah. They should give him more of that in Supergirl.
Yeah, it was great. He was so there was one way to get back home, and what he wants to do is he wants to destroy it because he's figuring, okay, so the worst part of these armies is on your Earth right now.
Right, because
so if I destroy this, they'll stay there.
The Fuhrer, and Overgirl all on Earth 1 with Supergirl ready to like operate.
Yeah, so he's like, okay, so if I destroy this, then all of like their main command are gone, and that's like a huge, like all their biggest weapons are destroyed.
Right.
So meanwhile, there's a contingency there because it's like, well, we need to get back there because then our Earth is going to be in jeopardy. And the guy's like, that's not my fucking problem. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. He Phil Collins.
Which I feel like this episode, chapter 3, I felt like was the slowest of all 4.
Just
because I felt like a lot of it was just, I'm gonna go talk to Winn to convince him to let us go, and he's like, no, and like, all right, now I'm gonna go talk to Winn, and he's like, no,
and then someone's like, and then Ray,
and then it turned out it was Leo that convinced Ray to go talk to Winn to make them go, and I was like, Jesus, so like just get to a fight already.
So he's gonna give them one window of an hour, just 1 hour. And if they can't do what they need to do, the place is getting blown to Kingdom Come. And another little DC reference. But the thing is, when they get there, he's like, yeah, about that hour. More like 20 minutes.
Because he sends his secret weapon to go destroy the warehouse that the teleporter is in. And it ends up being Red Tornado. Which, much better looking than the Supergirl Red Tornado we got.
Well, yeah, because that one was like CGI. This one's CGI.
That one was a person.
Yeah, it was a person.
And this looks so much better.
Yeah, so Barry and the Ray, after a gruesome battle, took down Red Tornado.
But before we get there, we have to remember. Well, no,
it's with Red Tornado I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. But before we get to that part of it, we have to remember that the way they got in the first place is Oliver dressed up as his Earth X doppelganger to be the Fuhrer, to get into the main control room where he can shut off the power dampeners that they have around the entire facility. Otherwise, they really aren't getting through.
And Lance's character was very suspicious already.
Yes.
So he had him bring in...
But before that...
What?
They reveal the Nazi's secret weapon, which is the Wave Rider.
A Nazi Wave Rider.
A Nazi Wave Rider, which they use the teleporter to teleport it to Earth 1.
A Wave Nazi.
And then Lance brings in his quote-unquote gift to the Fuhrer, which is one of the prisoners from the concentration camp, which ends up being Felicity Smoke.
But with she's like a brunette. And,
well, she has a black hair.
Yeah.
Because Felicity isn't a natural blonde, we know.
But she was like feeding children that were like starving. And,
she was giving her rations.
And she's also Jewish.
Yes.
So a lot going against her in this specific scenario, according to them. So he's like, he goes, I heard that you love someone that looked like this. Well, this must be rough. This would be rough for
the Earth One.
And
he gives him a gun to kill her.
Yeah. So obviously, Oliver goes to try and shoot him instead, and he's like, "Bitch, I'm not gonna give you a real gun. You fucking stupid. I know what's going on." So Oliver has to battle a bunch of different Nazi soldiers. And
which he kicks the shit out of them.
Oh yeah, he killed them
so easily. He kills the whole room.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. If this was a comedy bid, a stand-up special for him, he killed. Did a really good job.
So he turns off the dampeners, but the control panel for the teleporter was damaged in the fight, so they have to turn on the teleporter manually from inside the warehouse, and that actually ends up being very important in a few minutes. So now that they're able to get into the warehouse, while Flash and the Ray are handling Red Tornado, everyone else is fighting the Nazis in the warehouse to get to the panel.
The thing is that it's beyond, it's saying it's heavily guarded is like putting it lightly.
Yeah, they have Jeeps riding around with turrets on them. They have trucks, and the whole back cabin has a giant 50 caliber gun.
Yeah, it was. It's basically there's just no way that someone was not going to catch a bullet in this fight.
But unfortunately, someone does catch a bullet, and it is when Firestorm breaks in, and Stein has the idea to separate so that Jax can go hotwire the box, while Stein actually turns on the teleporter. And Jax is actually pinned down after he hotwires it, and then Stein decides to take that moment to go run to turn on the box, and he catches a bullet right in the back. And this is the beginning of some of the best acting I've seen, especially from Jax.
So Stein drops. He's in a pool of his own blood.
Oh, and by the way, that's just where Chapter 3 ends.
Yeah.
Just fuck you. I mean, honestly, thank God it was literally the very next episode, because imagine having to wait a whole day or a whole week. What a way to end that.
Yeah. I mean, I waited another day, but what's it called? But nonetheless, we continue on, and Jax is screaming because what we didn't mention was they were, as they've been handling this departure very well for Victor Garber's character. They had some really heartfelt moments in this specific crossover here.
Of course, yeah.
Basically, they were father and son.
They finally admitted that. Where Jax is like, you're the closest thing I've ever had to a father, and Stein tells him, "You're the closest thing. You're practically my son. I couldn't have asked for a better son."
Yeah. So this is all like,
and that's the real reason why Jax is taking it so hard to actually let Stein go.
Yeah, because
not because he won't be Firestorm, but because he'll be losing his father.
Yeah, exactly. And so now you got to remember these emotions are coming into play in this awful scene right here. Not awful by like acting wise. I mean just awful because it's like why. Somehow Stein was laying in his own blood, but then he managed to get up.
He got up, yeah. He managed to make it to the handle
and to be shot a couple of more times.
Yeah.
And he makes it to the handle. The switch goes. Jax, they can't move him because if they move him, he's in critical condition. So what they have to do is they have to form Firestorm again in order for Jax to get Stein back to the
right to transport
even have
him.
A chance at saving his life, which they do. So they get back, and while this is going on, Star Labs still under control from the Nazis, and Kara is under red sunlight. She's about to get cut open.
Yeah, I mean, Iris and Felicity bought them some time, but I mean, not even to get into it.
I mean, and they did manage to free everybody, but after a call was answered.
Yeah.
So
the legends show up.
Eobard literally has the knife, and he's like trying to cut, and then he's like. And like you're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is he like getting a cramp? What? And then Oliver's like, what are you doing? Make the incision. And he goes, I'm trying. And then all of a sudden, like, I love when they like magnify what's going on, and you just see like Ray holding the knife, like, and it's great. It's just like, what? Finally.
So finally the legends show up. Yeah, I mean, he really cleaned house just in that one moment. And then Nate unlocked all the cells while Amaya and Zari like took care of some of the Nazis.
After Mick asked if he brought beer.
Yeah.
And so they reclaim Star Labs, and while that is happening, then everyone's coming back now. So it's like, okay, reunion time is about to occur. The Nazi Wave Rider is in position though, and now that the plans were spoiled, everyone's even more pissed off. Like these Nazis are starting to take it out on the world. They're just shooting people. No fucking big deal.
But right before we get there, we do have a moment on the Wave Rider. Everyone is now on the Wave Rider.
I was trying to avoid it.
I know. But we can't. We have to talk about it.
Fuck.
So Jax ends up, crumbling over and coughing up blood, and you find out because of their connection, Stein dying is actually killing Jax. So it's weird because Stein is only alive because of Jax's connection to him.
So he's like his life support right there.
Right, but at the same time, Stein dying is killing Jax. So the only thing to be able to do is to at least save one of them. Oh my God, Caitlin. Hi. Caitlin says that she doesn't have the heart to tell Jax what's really going on, but Jax ends up finding out anyway because Stein knows.
Yeah.
And Stein, asks him to come over and begins to tell him the whole situation, pretty much saying the only way this can work is if one of us takes the serum to separate us so that I can die and you can live.
And then he's like saying, Gray, you're asking me to kill you.
Oh
like,
man, this scene.
You
want to talk about pulling at your heartstrings? This ripped them out.
I mean, we've had like a moment or two of this, of this kind of drama. Really.
Personally, I feel like never to this level.
But that's what
this
I
was
say,
something else.
This was on some other shit. Okay, because obviously everyone knows that, like, an ongoing joke, everyone comes back in some capacity, right? But this was.
this was hard.
Yeah, like watching this goodbye, it was like I felt like I was saying goodbye at the same exact time. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was in the room, and I was like,
I mean, and it ends up being that he does talk Jax into doing it, but not before Jax is like, I'm not ready to let you go. I can't let you go, and Stein has such a great line where he said, you said I'm like a father to you, and I said you're like my son. He's like, could a father do any less?
Yeah.
Like sacrificing himself so that his son can live. Can a father do anything less?
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
And
Children are supposed to bury their parents.
That line killed me.
Yeah.
And then Jax ends up giving him the serum so he can drink it. Stein drinks the serum and asks Jax to just stay with him just for his last moments, and then he dies.
So
holy shit!
I did not see that happen.
I mean, I was yelling at my TV because I was like, the man just wanted to go home to his family. Why couldn't you just let him go?
Yeah, like why did he have to?
Why do you have to die? Why couldn't he just leave?
Like why couldn't he just literally be a grandfather? Like live
right? I mean, he just got a grandkid. Oh Jesus!
And he just got a fucking daughter last year.
I know.
Last season.
Jesus Christ!
You're like, holy shit, man.
And of course, Sarah comes in just as it happens, so she has that moment.
Yeah, she gets
as well. And then they have that little montage of like everyone in their silent mourning for Stein.
Because that's a big dude. He's been in there since Flash, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, he really has, aside from Supergirl, he has had a connection with all three of the other shows. I mean, of course, Legends, obviously. He started out on Flash, and I'm pretty sure he's had some exposure with Arrow because of the crossovers. Some kind of exposure.
That would be the only capacity. Yeah.
Right, but this was a death that could be felt across every show.
Especially since that he was like on the way out anyway. Like it was like to know that he was on the way out and he didn't even get to make it out.
Like he was right there. Like he was. It's not like this. I mean, obviously his death was sudden, but like his departure wasn't. Like. Aside from knowing that the actor Victor Garber was going to do Broadway and they were writing him off, in the show, for the last few episodes, we've been understanding to say that, they're trying to find a way to separate Firestorm so that Stein can just go live a normal life. Mm-hmm. So his departure wasn't sudden. The fact that he was killed as his departure was sudden. Shit. But of course, to get back to the action, Overgirl is dying still, and what you find out is that she won't only just die, she will actually set off like
a solar flare.
Yeah, and
of a high magnitude.
Right, she could wipe out like the whole city or whatever, and the Fuhrer, gives them one more chance. Like, I will take all my troops and I will leave Earth one peacefully if you give me Kara. And of course, Oliver says no.
Nah, put a strap on. Fuck that.
Because he hasn't abandoned his friends, and he gives a rallying speech. Him and Sarah really to rally everybody to say, let's do this for Stein.
Yeah, for the professor.
But Jax is absent for this fight because, as promised to Stein, he goes back to Clarissa to give her the bad news. Mm-hmm. And again, killed me. It was like a 1-minute scene, and it killed me.
Yeah, man, dude. Because Clarissa just basically was dropping to the floor.
She broke down,
and he held her up,
and then Stein's daughter comes in, and I'm like, no, stay in there. Don't come see this.
It's like a cry.
And then she started crying, and then Jax is crying, and he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't save him. Jesus, come on, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, I know. They don't. I mean, they don't normally go that far.
Right. This was huge. Yeah. This was unreal.
Yes. Yeah.
And I loved every second of it, even as depressed as I was.
I did too. Yeah.
But finally, we get the big climactic ending to Crisis on Earth X, and you get all the superheroes walking in slow motion, like that hero shot, and it looked great though.
It looked great, but they pulled an Arrow season 4 finale. So you got the Nazis with the guns. Why did they have to walk all the way up to them and then start fighting them as opposed to just fucking shooting at them? They did it again. Literally. With Damien Dark's army, remember? It's like them against a bunch of civilians. The civilians have, bats and everything, and these guys have guns, and they're like, ah! You fucking guns! Shoot them, you dumble dick! What's wrong with you?
An army of civilians. This is gonna be useless.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't even have any guns. Why do I need one? hand-to-hand combat because now I'm fair, man. You know what I mean? So they do the same thing. They go up to the heroes, and then they're like, yeah, like what, that makes no sense. That was
I can use this gun to my advantage. To hit them in the head with it.
Exactly. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
But and of course we do get everyone fighting their counterparts. Oliver fights the Fuhrer. Supergirl fights Overgirl. They didn't move from that fucking.
Yeah, I know.
van.
I was like, how'd they get up there first? Like, were they like, all right, here, let me help you. All right, good, cool.
And then they never moved from there. They just kept like blocking and trading punches.
Exactly.
Supergirl and Overgirl fighting in the sky, and Flash and Eobard just speeding everywhere through the city.
That's what it was. They had to make something look because like the big names are Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash, right? So you got Flash running through the city fighting Eobard, like they fucking throwing kicks and all this other shit, right? And you got Kara fighting in the sky, like she's like, oh fuck you, bitch, and she's like, oh I'll fuck you up, ho. And then like while that's going on, then you have like Oliver battling Oliver on top of a van.
He's like,
oh, miss me, oh. And then you know what I mean? Like you have like flight, super speed, and then just.
But then, and of course, the rest of the heroes are fighting the army of Nazis that are around. But it was interesting because it really wasn't just that, like the big three fighting the counterparts. It was, them trying to stop the Nazi Wave Rider. So Caitlin makes her ice ramp thing, and takes
into the
Amaya
ship.
and Zari all the way up to the Wave Rider to get inside to shut their shields off. And then once they do,
open season.
Wells fires on them while Cisco goes to breach them out.
Mm-hmm.
But Overgirl is finally ready. Like, she's critical.
Yeah.
And she's going to explode. So Wells tells Kara, you have to take her up, and away.
I love when they find reasons to do shit like that. You know
as corny as it is, like, it works perfectly.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's corny, but it's the kind of corny where you're like, I wanted this.
Yeah,
even if you don't want to admit it, you're like, I did want this.
So Kara brings her all the way up out into the atmosphere. Out of the atmosphere, I should say. And she explodes. And Kara comes back down. But Nate catches her, which was cool. And he had a good line, too. He goes, I figure it takes a Man of Steel to catch the Girl of Steel.
And I was like, yes. Because obviously, for some reason, Superman isn't going to be involved in any of these things.
Right? I mean, yeah, I know it's Earth 19, but, like, Jean wasn't involved either.
Yeah, I know. I wanted Jean in there,
like,
too.
he should have definitely been there.
Hopefully next year.
Yeah. But I think he should have definitely been there.
100%.
But, Flash, of course. And I love this.
This is so fucking annoying.
It really got to the point where, like, they showed this, and then immediately, then I'll explain. So, Barry gets the upper hand against Eobard, and he has him against the wall, and he's vibrating his hand. He can kill him. That's it. He can end it. And Eobard's like, oh, but yeah, Barry Allen, you don't kill. And then Barry pulls a fucking Caitlin, and it's just like, get out of here.
Yeah, that was the
stupidest
thing ever, dude. Like, yeah, little kick on the ass, like, get out of here, you little scamper.
Just like with Emmett Black, like, get out of here.
Yeah, and the kid's like, okay.
Come on.
I was like, that's some weak sauce, man. That is some weak
Jesus
sauce.
Christ. So, of course, Eobard leaves, which is what I was saying. Like, it leaves the door open for him to come back now.
Yeah, I know. And he was like, I wonder what face I'll have when I come back. And then he's like, I'll be ready. It's like, ready for what? Let him go again? Like,
ready for what? You're not going to do it ready to punish him?
Yeah.
You're not going to do anything?
I'll be ready to say goodbye again when I let you go.
But I loved it because right after that ridiculous shit, you get Arrow, you get Oliver, and after Overgirl explodes, the Fuhrer turns around and he's like, no! And then Oliver has the arrow ready, and the second the Fuhrer turns around, he's like, pop, and just hits him right in the heart.
Not only that, like after the Fuhrer turns around, he goes, I'm gonna kill you. And then the minute he stands up, then he shoots him. Like, he went.
But that's the best thing.
Dude, that's a few seconds. You're like,
he wanted to make sure, like he saw his
well, he
eyes.
did tell him. He did say, I'm gonna kill you.
Of course. And I love when Oliver says that. But the thing is, like, it was great to have those two back to back because it was literally Flash just being like, get out of here, you, because I don't kill people. And Oliver's like, fuck that, I do kill people. Shoots him right in the heart. And I was like, yeah, that's the fucking way it's done. Like, really.
You have three different ways of the way things ended. So you have Oliver kill someone, and then
which is what he does best.
You have Flash let someone go because he doesn't kill, and then you have literally Kara's enemy just exploded on her own.
Right.
So she didn't have to do anything. So there's just three different ways of it.
But the thing with Flash, I would have even been more understanding if Flash didn't kill him because it was more of that. If I kill him, then like he's not alive to come back in the past to kill my mom. That makes me the Flash. Like all that whole bullshit. But no, instead it was just. I'm Barry Allen. I don't kill people. And he's like, get out of here! Like, no.
That was. They could. I feel like they could have done that better.
Of course, but that is the end of the fight.
At least like lock him in the pipeline or something.
But same with Amunet Black. You don't have to kill her. Lock her ass in the pipeline like you do to everybody else. Don't just let it go.
Yep. Stupid shit, man. So that and the gun thing again. Like that was those were the two things where I was just like. Stupid.
Like facepalm.
Yeah. Like I was like, there's no explanation.
But so it does wrap up. The Ray goes back to Earth X, which I believe is gonna be his animated series of the Freedom Fighters.
But Snart is gonna stay.
Leo, he's gonna stick around a little bit. We don't really know why.
But but there was a fun moment though where Mick was drinking some beers and Leo shows up and he's like. Oh, ghost, get out of my head, not again. And he's like,
nope, ghost. I'm not a ghost.
So that was funny because, like, if you remember last,
yeah, he was having the visions
of Snart coming into him as like a ghost, and he's having hallucinations and shit. So he's like, oh, I drank a few beers and probably seeing him again. God damn it! And he's like, nope, this is legit. And he goes, but I'm nice. And then he's like, on my Earth, you died saving all those people.
Oh, the cops.
Yeah,
you took all those policemen from a fire.
Yeah, he's like, I saved pigs. You're gonna be sick.
But so Snart decides to stick around. The Ray goes back, and we have the funeral for Stein, which again just ripped my heart out and punch it repeatedly. Because again, Jack's and I actually felt somehow more emotional for this than the other two parts, where he goes up to Clarissa and he just breaks down again. And he's like, I don't know how to do this without him. And then Lily says, then don't, he's always going to be a part of you. And I was like, Jesus Christ, just let it end because I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle it. Oh God, to take him out that way.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean,
that was very rough.
I mean, I will admit that they benefited from it greatly, in my opinion. The way that they did.
I mean, obviously, like I really hope we're not done seeing where this goes and what it affects.
No, you can't. If you ignore that, that'd be awful.
It was just a waste.
But no, I'm just saying, like they really explored territory they don't normally explore too often to that degree. So that was really cool that they managed to do that, and the reactions were spot on.
Yeah,
spot on.
But it does end in a happy note because while Barry and Iris' wedding was interrupted by the Nazis, they decide to do it right now because Diggle is still an ordained minister, right? That's what it was?
Yeah.
He had the power to marry them. And of course we get that joke again with Barry grabbing
He's always
Dig.
getting sick whenever...
And he got sick from the speed. But he does decide to marry Barry and Iris. But right at the end of it, because it has to be the Felicity show too, Felicity's like, wait! Marry us too and we'll do a double wedding. Which I thought was still kind of, like, obviously it was fucked up for her to do it then.
Yeah.
But, like, to see that they got married too, I was like, alright, like, this is nice, finally.
Yep, and so 2 marriages simultaneously done. And so that's the nice note, and this is all leading into the mid-season finales already next week.
It went so fast.
Dude.
And that's why I'm like, shit, I'm mad that we missed 2 weeks of the podcast, because, like, now we have the mid-season finale, but to us, it's like, we didn't do 2 of the weeks.
I know.
But next week is the mid-season finale.
Supergirl, I think they're going to make it rain.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I'm like, shit, there was so much to talk about from last week's Supergirl.
Dude.
And last week's Flash.
Dude, so I actually, it was recorded, but it hasn't been released.
He ended up doing the episode without me because I was on my honeymoon.
Yeah.
But he did it with Ward.
Yes, we did it with Ward. Now, real quick, my ranking from last week was I had Legends last. And the reason why is because I felt that all 3 of the other shows had taken like 5 steps towards like the.
Well, there were some pretty big revelations in the shows this week. Last week, I mean.
Yeah, I actually had Flash first because, and of course, like I want to make that established here because I know I give Flash a hard time and shit. So I want to be fair. I did give Flash first last week. I did. I thought that the origin of the Thinker and everything. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
But what I'm even more excited about too, right, is after these mid-season finales, we're gonna have a 5th show to review.
Yeah, starting in I believe January right?
16th.
Black Lightning.
January 16th.
And right now they are saying it's not part of the Arrowverse, but of course there's always
Supergirl wasn't
options
either.
to...
Supergirl wasn't either. This is probably just taking place on a different Earth.
Right. There are always options because of all the Earths.
This could be Earth 45.
Right. There are options for it to later become part of the Arrowverse.
Yeah. I have high hopes. I mean, I really... Because, honestly, the bigger the family, the better, dude. You know? I mean, come on. Tell me you would... Alright, so if it ends up being amazing... Tell me you wouldn't want this motherfucker coming through in a crossover, like just fucking throwing lightning around and shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
What would be sick is if he and Barry throw lightning together.
That'd be cool.
Tell me that would not be amazing,
cool.
right? Come on.
But we really flew off the rails here. But what we will say is that there is no ranking this week. Crisis on Earth X is number 1.
Best crossover. The crossovers get better every year. Like literally, there's not one that's digressed. Like
right. I mean, it started with
just Arrow
and Flash, and then it went.
Then they set up Legends.
Right, Arrow and Flash. The next year set up Legends. The year after that was, of course, Heroes vs. Aliens, and Crisis on Earth X is by far a masterpiece.
I really hope that they keep that going where they bleed into each other's episodes. Where it's not.
I think they will. Because
it
this
just works. So well.
You have no. I mean, I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying in general. Like you have no idea how much this crossover just fired on all cylinders and was a masterpiece. And if you noticed, it had its own title card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love
Which was amazing.
It felt old school, but at the same exact time.
So they know exactly what they're doing. You know, this is the new status quo for their crossovers. There is no more segmented, like, Supergirl's going to have her Supergirl-esque part. And no, it's just going to be, this is it.
Everyone's on everyone's show. Dude, because, like, the chemistry was just so great. Like, everyone works so well together. Oh my god. And let's not forget, Sarah actually helped Alex come to grips with some things about Maggie because she was actually having doubts. Maybe I need to go back to Maggie. And Sarah was like, "You seem like someone that's got a great head on their shoulders." And she was like, "You know, if your gut feeling was to break something off, I'm sure it was a valid reason, and you shouldn't go back from that." Right. So she actually did help her, just that's by having like a one night stand and Alex feeling like bad or whatever. The best thing was when Mick was like, "You hit that." Oh man, Sarah's always getting with the pretty ladies.
But yeah, that's it for Crisis on Earth X. We have the mid-season finales next week, so that's a big week. If you like the crossover or like what we had to say, like and comment below. Let us know, your thoughts on everything.
Subscribe
to catch more of these podcasts every week. I know it was rough the last couple of weeks, but now we are back in full swing.
For one more week,
and then hiatus. But wedding's over, honeymoon's over, we're back in full swing. That's it. Mid-season finale next week, and we will be back for the second half of the season when it comes. It's like February. January?
Usually like mid-January, mid to late January they come back. Also, let us know what you think of the first interpretation on screen of the Ray.
Yes, that was a big deal, absolutely. And now he is getting his own animated series like Vixen has, which is interesting because they really do keep up with. There are other members of this universe we don't always see on live TV. On live action, I mean.
Yeah.
But they still have their moments to shine.
And his powers look really cool.
Yeah. But that's it for us this week, guys. Until then, I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny.
And we'll see you next time. Later.